Welcome to Homework Lib.
Hi, so over here we need to correct the following structures by placing formal charges on appropriate atoms. So first of all, let's identify here that we have an NH3 on this first option. That means that this nitrogen should have a partial positive charge. I'm going to write down all of the formal charges that we're going to have on purple over here. Next up, this oxygen is only bonded to one carbon atom, so that means that we're going to have a negative charge over here. Recall that oxygen is going to have a balance of -2. Next up over here, we're going to have only one carbon-hydrogen bond. That means that this is going to be a carbocation. Since we are not having any, let me make this plus charge more clear. We're not going to have any additional opposite charge over here. Next up on this compound, it looks like a thiol with a missing negative charge over here. And the sulfur, in this case, should have a positive charge because the fact that sulfur is going to act very similarly to the oxygen in this type of compounds. So if we have three bonds towards the sulfur, that means that we have an extra one. Thus, we require that positive charge. Next up on this compound, everything seems correct except for this oxygen over here. Let's count, we have three different bonds. So that means that this oxygen is going to be protonated by this hydrogen over here. Following that, we're going to have this nitrogen. It is going to have four bonds. So as well as in the first case, this should have a positive charge. Similarly, over here, we are going to have two carbon-hydrogen bonds alone and a carbon-carbon bond. We're missing one, but in place of the bond, we're going to have a pair of electrons. That means that this is going to be a negative charge on this carbon atom. Similarly, over here, we're missing a bond on the oxygen, so we're going to require the extra negative over here. Next, in this case, we're going to have a nitrogen with only two bonds. Remember that normally nitrogen is going to have three bonds on its structure, so in this case, this is going to be a nitrogen with a negative charge over here. In this case, you can verify that this nitrogen is going to own 6 electrons on this compound. Next up, over here, we're going to have one carbon-hydrogen bond and a pair of electrons over this carbon atom. So this is going to be a negative charge. This is going to be a carbanion. Following over here, this oxygen is also going to be protonated. This is going to have a partial positive charge. Following this, the bromine atom in this cyclic compound, what is going to happen is that this should be a partial positive charge. Actually, these type of compounds are going to be very frequent in the electrophilic addition of bromine towards alkenes. So this will have a positive charge. And following this, next up over here, we're going to have a derivative of a nitrate. In this case, as such, we're going to have a negative charge for this oxygen, which is missing a bond over here, and the nitrogen is going to be positively charged. And finally, for this compound, let's look at the different places that we are going to have. We have this oxygen, which is going to have two bonds, everything correct, but this nitrogen over here is missing a bond. So as before, this would have a negative charge. And with that, it would be all. Thank you very much, and have a good one.